Earlier this hour, we told you about a Bristol Eastern swim coach who lost his job following the release of this video. Video was put out by a group known as POPSquad. That coach has not been charged with any crime, but Bristol police confirming they are looking into this video, all because of the work of this unique group called POPSquad. Right now, we're joined by Fox 61 Chief Investigator Brian Foley. You spent today digging into POPSquad, figuring out how they do the work that so many people now rely on.
Yeah, in my previous career, I remember looking into these guys and trying to find out, what they did and how they did it. So I wanted to meet up with them today and see exactly what they did and how they did it. It was pretty cool stuff.
I've been doing this for 16 and a half months.
Wow, why'd you start doing it?
I was curious at first. I wanted to see how many guys were actually around here, because we all have the naive thought that, we know it's out there, but it won't happen around me, it won't happen in my house. So once I saw how many there were and that I could render different results, I decided I had to keep going.
All right, I gotta ask you this. Are you a victim yourself?
No.
Okay, you?
No.
Do you contact police?
No, we never reach out first. I learned early on that creates a lot of loopholes for the defense later on to possibly, try to argue entrapment or anything like that when you know yourself.
So you're not working as an agent for the police?
Exactly, we're not law enforcement, so that doesn't apply. So by doing that, I avoid all that. So the public makes a complaint, or an officer might see somebody that's in his jurisdiction, and then they reach out to the website. At that point, I give them everything they need, from the first initial contact, all the chat logs, the transcripts from text messaging if they went over to texting, and then I give them the raw video footage of the actual encounter.
Have you had to testify yet?
No. Nobody's taken anything to trial. It's airtight. Everybody takes pleas after they get as many continuances as they can.
This is like the ultimate volunteer work, and you're like the ultimate witness to provide all that type of information. I mean, sometimes victims and witnesses are reluctant to come forward in these types of crimes.
For years, and that's the thing that I see a lot. When you ask, do I get thank yous, or do I hear from, victims? They'll tell me their story and be like, I've never talked to anybody for that, but I saw your videos, and I'll get like 5-6 page letters.
What do the cops say to you?
Off camera, they're the regular dad at home and they agree with everything I do, and then on camera it's a different story.
How old's your decoy?
He was 19 at the time, he's 21 now.
Oh, badass. How old does he look?
He looks really young, but he's 6 feet, so the people that believed it, there's tall kids, but he shaved up for the live meets though.
Let me ask you this, why do you do it?
It needs to be done, and once I started meeting a lot of cops that were saying I was doing a better job interrogating than some of the guys that they've worked with for years, I was like, well, that's odd. You guys go to school for this, and this is all self-knowledge and things I've been into since I was a kid, long before this. So I have to do it. If I don't, who's gonna? Yeah, so the meeting today was pretty much in basically an underground lair. It was in private, it was in secret, it was in an abandoned old warehouse. They didn't tell me their real names, but they showed me where they work and how they did it, and it was pretty impressive.
So let me ask you, first of all, how safe is this? And how successful is this group?
Well, success-wise, they've only been doing it for 16 months. They already have 7 convictions. They're 7 for 7. 3 are in the courts right now. Every case they posted, other than the recent ones, have all led to arrest. That's very successful. Now, as far as safe, I wouldn't recommend anyone doing it, that's for sure. But there's no laws against it, and they're going after some of the worst people that are out there.
Do police departments welcome this, and are these easy to prosecute, which you kind of just answered?
Yeah,
seems that they are.
So, okay, do they welcome it? Cops always want to do this type of work, and I remember watching the Chris Hansen stuff and thinking, boy, I wish we were doing this, when police department, why don't we do it? Well, there's entrapment issues. When a police department starts doing that, they have to work through entrapment issues. So let's say there's an arson, someone burns their car on fire. The police sometimes don't investigate it that thoroughly, but the insurance company will. And they come with a gift-wrapped investigation because they can ask things and do things that the police department can't. And they come to the doorstep of the police department, here's an arrest. And that's what these guys are doing now. It's proactive what they're doing, but when they show up on your doorstep, they're giving you everything voluntarily, all the transcripts, everything. That's a gift-wrapped arrest warrant. It's cut and paste, sent to the state's attorney, and convictions. As you see, they're all going to pleas. None have gone to trial. That's pretty impressive work.
Chief Investigator Brian Foley, fascinating report.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your expertise, as usual.